going on, good people? It's David Johns, and I'm back with the second installment of Three Things. The three things that are on my mind this week, you're wondering? Like to hear it? Here it goes. The first is that we are winding down Pride Month. As we duck walk toward the end of Pride Month, is an opportunity for us to remember that Pride began in protest. And while there have been and will continue to be celebrations throughout the summer of what it means for us to be proud to be members of the LGBTQIA+ community and all of our beautiful diversity, let's not forget that there's so much more work to be done, both by protest and by shaping advocacy and policy to ensure that we can all be free. Want to acknowledge that we're really proud of NBJC's continued partnership with Sephora. It has allowed us to be able to leverage the bright light that they cast throughout the world to talk a little bit more about the ways in which Black LGBTQIA+ and same-gender loving people show up and show out, as well as the unique challenges that we face that are too often neglected and ignored. If you had a chance to see the Times Square installation that featured myself and a number of other NBJC partners, including our Deputy Director, Victoria Kirby York, Michelle Rayner Goldsby, an elected official in the state of Florida, our Nala Toussaint, a member of our Black Trans Advisory Council, and snapped any pictures, send them to us. Include NBJC on the Move across digital platforms and the hashtag NBJC Advocacy so we can find them. The second thing that's on my mind, and that's on a lot of people's tongues, is the performance of Montero Lamont Hill, aka Lil Nas X. Now listen, good people, I'm here for it. No surprise if you've been following me for any amount of time. And in particular, what I'm here for is a recognition that there's a myth that exists which suggests that if you talk about queer things, remember queer in its ontological sense, in its purest form, simply means that which is different, not normative, traditional, or expected. And the fact that queer has become synonymous with sexual identity, gender orientation, or expression in our country says more about white supremacy and homophobia than it does about the ways in which we've always shown up in the world. All of this to say, I appreciate Lil Nas X introducing and shifting conversations and thoughts and expectations around lust and sex and intimacy such that we are included. Kudos to you, young brother. I hope that you are guarded by guardian angels who will continue to surround you as you continue to do good in the world. And as I said in the post that I made today, if you feel some kind of way about that, about his art or about the performance, I encourage you to work through that in therapy. The third thing that is on my mind this week is a result of our brother, Uncle Jimmy, James Baldwin. There is a new book that has been introduced to the world, including because of the wonderful work of Imani Perry and Eddie Glaude Jr. If you haven't read Eddie Glaude's book, also featuring Uncle Jimmy, I encourage you to pick that one up. This book is an essay that is often overlooked by Uncle Jimmy, and in it, he grapples with consumerism and what that does to us as Americans. He names solitude and the loneliness that comes with existing without meaningful connections to love. And he also talks about the importance of reconciling with myths, the myths that make America, including the myth of whiteness and white supremacy. Here's one of my favorite pieces from the book. We have all heard the bit about what a pity it was that Plymouth Rock didn't land on the Pilgrims instead of the other way around. I've never found this remark very funny. It seems wistful and vindictive to me, containing furthermore a very bitter truth. The inertness of that rock meant death for the Indians, enslavement for the Blacks, and spiritual disaster for the homeless Europeans who now call themselves Americans and who have never been able to resolve their relationship either to the continent they fled or to the continent they conquered. As always, Uncle Jimmy ain't got nothing for you but the truth. And my hope is that his words help us to ruminate on the lessons that can be applied today and otherwise provide us with keys to unlock the pathway to freedom. I encourage you to take this up. Those are my three things this week.